Good afternoon, guys. We're going to go ahead and do the review. I'm going to start with number 2. Name the line and plane shown in the diagram. To name a line, you need to have 2 points. So we have A and B. So we have this line going through A and B. So we know that it's going to be line AB. And then to name a plane, you need 3 points. A, B, and D. So your answer is A. If EF equals 9x plus 7, so the distance from E to F, 9x plus 17, and FG is 35, and EG is 196. Find the value of x. So you know that the 2 smaller segments, 9x plus 17 plus 35 equals 196. That means the 2 shorter segments add up to be the larger one. So we have 96 plus 5 and 7 is 12, 52. Subtract that from 196. Get 144. So your answer is 16. The measurement of angle DEF is 114. What are the measurements of angle FEG? Well, 114, we know that the angle FED, and we know that angle FEG are a linear pair and they have to be supplementary. So actually this measurement, the measure of angle FEG, is 180 minus 114. 180 minus 114. So it's 66 degrees. This is 66. Angle HEG are vertical angles, so this one has to be 114. So the measure of angle FEG is 66. The measurement of angle HEG is 114. How are the 2 angles related? Well, you know that this angle is 49 degrees. This angle is 131. And when you add these 2 up, 49 plus 131, that gives you 180 degrees. So they're going to be supplementary. The other word complementary means it's a sum of 90 degrees. Vertical angles, they look like this. These are how vertical angles look like. And we know that vertical angles are congruent. Adjacent angles, these are considered adjacent angles. You see the 2 angles here? These are considered adjacent angles. Okay. Name an angle complementary. When we say that 2 angles are complementary, that means that the sum measure of both angles is 90 degrees. So the only 2 that add up to be a 90, since that little square right there, that indicates a 90, so this has to be 90. So the only one that satisfies it is angle COB. So COB is complementary to COD. So together these 2 angles have a sum of 90. Number 12, the complement of angle 21. That means when we say complement, the sum of the 2 angles will be 90. So 21 plus 90 gives you, 21 plus 69 gives you 90. So these 2 are complement. If you were to add each of these answers, you would notice the answer would be greater than 90. So the only answer is B. Once again, number 14, we have the complement of an angle is 64. Complement means the sum is 90. So 24 plus 26 gives you a sum of 90. So these two angles complement each other. So the answer is B. Use the law of detachment to draw a conclusion from the two given statements. I can go to the concert if I can afford to buy a ticket. I can go to the concert. That's true. So what conclusion can you make? I can afford to buy a ticket. That's true. So your answer is A. In other words, if part, I can go to the concert implies I can go to the concert implies that I can buy a ticket. So that's got to be true. Okay. Which angles are corresponding? 7 and 3 are vertical angles. See how they're across each other? They're vertical angles. 8 and 3 are a linear pair. They're also adjacent. 3 and 11, you see how they're on, here is the transversal, here is a line, here is a line. These are corresponding angles, 3 and 11. So 3 and 11, those are corresponding angles. So your answer is C. So A is wrong, B is wrong. Make sure to always eliminate your wrong answers. So we'll be going to the next one. Use the diagram to find the following. What are the 3 pairs of corresponding angles? So we're looking for corresponding angles. 1 and 2, these are adjacent because they share a common side. So A is going to be wrong. Angle 3 and angle 4 are consecutive, are same interior angles. So those are wrong. C, 1 and 7 is corresponding. 2 and 4 is corresponding. 6 and 7 are not. 6 and 7 are adjacent. So that's not it. So your answer is D. 2 and 4 are corresponding. 8 and 6 are corresponding, and 1 and 7. Which is a correct two-column proof? So remember, we always start with a given. R is parallel to S. So these two lines are parallel. This is your transversal. Remember, that's a transversal. The first one is true. In this first answer, R is parallel to S. Now what they're saying is that angle B and angle C are vertical angles and they're congruent. Now they're saying that C and E, angle C and angle E are supplementary. Remember, those are same side interior angles. Now we know that E and H are vertical angles and they are congruent, so that's true. The last one is substitution. Angle C is congruent with angle B, and angle E is congruent with angle H. Therefore, they are what? Supplementary. And what did I just finish doing? This was called substitution. I substituted these angles with these two. So that's substitution. So that the answer is A. Find the measurement of angle G. So you're trying to find angle G. What do they give you? P is parallel to R. And they also give you that angle 34, or this angle right here is the angle measurement is 34. We know that these two angles, the ones that I'm going to highlight, these two angles are alternate interior angles. And we know that alternate interior angles are congruent when the two lines are parallel cut by a transversal. This is your transversal. Angle H and angle G form a linear pair. And if they're a linear pair, then they're supplementary. So to find the measurement of angle H, all I have to do is subtract 180 minus 34 since they're a linear pair. So 180 minus 34, 446. Now they want to find the measure of angle H or angle G. It's angle G. So your answer is 8. The measurement of angle P. Find the measure of angle P. We know that this line, I think that's X. X is parallel to H. P is parallel, no. Oh, that's angle P. This is angle J, and this is K. And we know those two lines are parallel. This angle and this angle are corresponding angles. And we know that the corresponding angles are 150 degrees. I mean, they're congruent and they're equal to 150 degrees. 150 degrees. This angle and this angle are same side interior angles. Same side interior angles. And we know that the same side interior angles are supplementary. So to find the measurement of angle P, it's 180 degrees minus 150 degrees, which gives you 30 degrees. So that's the answer. Which lines are parallel if the measurement of angle 3 is congruent to the measure of angle 6? Remember that these are alternate interior angles. And if alternate interior angles are congruent, there's a transversal, then line R and line S are parallel. So your answer is B. Find the value of X. So here's a triangle. Here's your exterior angle. These two are interior angles, and we know that the exterior angle is equal to the two remote interior angles. So 105 equals 72 plus X. So to find this angle, you have to subtract from 105, so it's 33. This is not drawn to scale. Find the value of X. Diagram is not drawn to scale. Angle SSRT is congruent to STR, which is 28, both are 28. And we know that the measurement of angle STU is equal to STU is 2x. So this is 28, this is 28, this is 124. How did I get 124? The sum of the angles in a triangle is equal to 180. So the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. And we know that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two interior angles. So 28 plus 124 gives you 152. That's the measurement of the whole angle. So 2x is equal to 152 divided by both sides. So it's x is 72. I think they were looking for the value of x. Which two lines are parallel? 5y equals negative 3x minus 5. So I'm going to put in slope-intercept form. Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. So y equals negative 3x over 5 minus 1. Go ahead and type in the other one in, write the other one in slope-intercept form. So you divide by 5. So y equals 2 over 5 minus 3x over 5. Now you notice that you have negative 3/5, you have a negative 3/5. This was 1, and this is 2. So definitely 1 and 2 are going to be parallel. The last one, I don't think is going to be parallel, so you have 3y minus 2x equals negative 1. So you add 2x to both sides, so you have 2x minus 1. Divide by 3. Y equals 2x over 3 minus 1/3. And yeah, the slopes are not the same. The only ones are 1 and 2, so your answer is C. This is the slope. This is the slope. It's 1 next to the variable, and this is the slope. So you notice that the slopes are not all the same. Only 1 and 2 are the same. 38. Which two lines are parallel? So you're going to have to write it in slope-intercept form. So this is number 1. So I'm going to solve for y. This is number 1. So y equals 2x over 5 minus 1. So the slope is 2/5. Number 2, we have 5y equals negative 3 plus 3x. Divide by 5. So what's the equation? Y equals negative 3/5 plus 3x over 5. And then the last one, we're going to have to solve for y. Number 3, and I'm running out of room. So I'm going to put 3 right here. So we have 5y minus 3x equals negative 1. So you have 5y equals 3x minus 1. I added 3x to both sides. Divide by 5. So y equals 3x over 5 minus 1/5. So you notice that 2 and 3 have the same slope. That's 3/5. That's 3/5. But the last one is 2/5. So the only two that have the same slope is 2 and 3. So your answer is A. What is the equation in point-slope form for the line parallel to y equals 5x minus 4 and contains negative 6, 1? So the point-slope formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So if it's going to be parallel, the question is, what is the slope? Well, the slope here is 5. And do we already have our x1 and our y1? And I would say yes. This is your x1, and there's your y1. So now you just have to substitute. So you have y minus 1 equals 5, parentheses x, minus a negative 6, so it's going to be x plus 6. So your answer is, the only one that fits that description is D. So remember that parallel lines have the same slope. What is an equation in point slope form for the line perpendicular? So we want it perpendicular, so the slope here is m. The slope here is m equals 2. The perpendicular slope, that upside down T means perpendicular, is a reciprocal, in this case it's 1 over 2, And since this is positive, this will be negative. So just like we did the previous example, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So what is y1? This is x1, y1. So y1 is negative 4. So you have y minus a negative 4 equals negative 1/2 times x minus 8. What happens when you have a minus and a negative? It becomes positive, so you have y plus 4 equals negative 1/2 times x minus 8. So what is your answer? I think this is a negative. Answer is 8. What is an equation in point-slope form? So it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 for the line that is perpendicular slope. We know that the slope is equal to negative 4. So the perpendicular slope is a reciprocal and it's positive, so it's 1/4. This is your x1, y1, so you have to substitute. Y minus negative 7 equals 1/4 x minus negative 3. Now, that minus and the negative is going to probably mess you up, so make sure you understand that it's a minus and a negative. That's going to be positive, so you have y plus 7 equals 1/4 x plus 3. So your answer is D. You can check this in Desmos. I'm going to go ahead and bring it here. I'm going to bring it over. So the first equation was y equals negative 4x plus 10. And the other equation is y plus 7 equals 1/4. And then we have x plus 3. I know it appears perpendicular, but it is perpendicular. And you notice here that the two lines intersect, and it's a right angle. Give the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line that is perpendicular to 4x plus 2y equals 19, and p is 3, negative 8. So we have 4x plus 2y equals 19. So I need to write this in slope-intercept form. So I subtract 4x, subtract 4x. So you have 2y equals negative 4x plus 19. And then you divide by 2. So y equals negative 2x plus 19/2. So the slope is negative 2. And what slope are we talking about? The slope for this line. I have to write this in slope-intercept form. So the perpendicular slope is going to be positive, and then the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. This is x1, y1. So you have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So you have y minus y1, so it's negative 8, equals m, which is 1/2, times x minus 3. So you have y plus 8 equals 1/2 x minus 3. So your answer is D. Your answer is D. '48. Complete the two-column proof. A is parallel to B. That was given. A is parallel to B. That's what you wanted to figure. And you want to prove that 2 is congruent to 7. Angle 6 and angle 7 are adjacent, and they form a linear pair, don't they? 6 and 2, 6 and angle 2, angle 6 and angle 2 are same side, are consecutive angles. And we know that same side interior angles are supplementary. So angle 6 and 7 are adjacent. Angle 6 and angle 2 are same side. And now we're saying that the measurement of angle 6 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 6 plus the measure of angle 7. Since these both are equal to 180, you can set each equation or each statement equal to each other. That's called transitive. And now what they did is they did away with measurement of angle 6, so they subtracted. And if two angles are equal, they're also congruent. So that's definition of congruent. So your answer will be adjacent linear pair. So C is wrong. And we have same side. This says exterior linear pair. So your answer is D. Complete the two-column proof. Triangle PQR that's given. Measure of angle P plus the measure of angle 2, and the measure of angle Q is 180. Measure of angle P, the measure of angle Q, and the measure of angle 2 is equal, that's what we're trying to prove, is 180. The sum of the angles is 180. We know that we draw line ST through R, and it's parallel to PQ. So these two are parallel. Okay, so we have angle 1 and angle PRT are supplementary because they're a linear pair. So what are we going to write? The measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle PRT is equal to 180. And that's because it's supplementary angles. The next one, we know that the measurement of angle PRT is equal to the measurement of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3, and that's angle addition postulate. And now we're just going to substitute. So we have the measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 2 plus the measurement of angle 3 is equal to 180. And that's substitution. So what I did first is I said that this angle plus this entire angle are supplementary. They're a linear pair. The next thing is I indicated that angle PRT is made up of angle 1 and angle 3. It's made up of those two angles. That's angle addition postulate. And then the last reason here for number 5 is substitution. So that proves that angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3 is equal to 180. So which one shows that? I think it's D. The answer to this is D. Which triangles are congruent by ASA, or angle side angle? The key word is congruent. So they need a corresponding angle congruent, they need a corresponding side, and a corresponding angle. Now if I look at H, and I look at A, the only one that has corresponding angles is triangle HGHF and triangle ABC. So we have H corresponds with A, G corresponds with B, and F corresponds with C. Now, we got to check if it's going to be angle, side, angle. It is. Angle H, angle A, angle G, angle B, and that's angle, side, angle, so the answer is B. So we have H corresponds with A. We have G corresponds with B, and they have that same included side. They're sharing the same included side. So your answer is B. What is missing reason in the two-column proof? MO, or ray MO, bisects PMN. So this angle is congruent to this angle. OM bisects PON. So this angle is congruent to this angle. So that was given. And what I just finished drawing were the angle bisector. That means that PMO is congruent to NMO. That's the first two. We know that MO is congruent to MO. That's a reflexive property. Given, I just drew the bisector, and what happens is these two angles are going to be congruent. So why are these two triangles congruent? PMO is congruent to NMO, and what is it? Well, we have the two angles and the included side, so it's going to be A. It's going to be angle, side, angle. Can you use the side angle, side postulate, the AAS theorem, or both to prove the triangles congruent? Well, this is the side, and this side are congruent. This angle and this angle are congruent. This angle is congruent to this angle, so that's those are vertical angles are congruent. So the only one I can think that you can use is angle, angle, side. We don't have another included side, so it's going to be angle, angle, side only. So your answer is C. Angle, angle, and then the side. Based on the given information, what can you conclude and why? Angle H is congruent to L. These two angles are vertical angles when they're congruent. HJ is congruent to JL. So this would be angle, side, angle. So it's either going to be A or C. So we got to pick which one's the correct one. HIJ is congruent to LKJ. That's the correct order. Let's see what's this one. HIJ, J, no, that's incorrect order. So this is wrong. C was wrong because of the order. It'd have the correct theorem or postulate, but A is a correct order. Supply the missing reasons to complete the proof. Angle Q is congruent to angle T. QR is congruent to TR. Well, these two are going to be congruent. So PQR is congruent to RT. Vertical, given. So why is triangle PQR congruent to SRT? That would be angle, side, angle, right? So it's angle, side, angle. And segment PR is congruent to segment SR, and that's because the corresponding parts of congruent triangle are congruent. We talked about that. In other words, if the two triangles are congruent, then everything else is going to be congruent, the corresponding parts. Which three links cannot be links of sides of a triangle? So you got to pick the two shorter sides. So you have 17 plus 14. And they have to be longer than the third. So that one can be a triangle. That's true. 10 plus 15 is 25. So that can make a triangle. 22 plus 11 is 33, and that could make, no, I'm sorry, 9 and 11 is 20. So that's false. And then we have 7 and 6 as 13. That's false. So I would take it C and D. That can be triangles. Because 22 centimeters is the longest side. So 9 plus 11 is 20. And 7 plus 6 is 13. So these two can't be triangles. Which three lengths cannot be lengths of the sides of a triangle? So 17 and 14, I think that's 31. Yeah, so that can be a triangle, so that's true. 10 plus 15 is 25. That's I mixed it up here. Okay, 62. Which three lengths cannot be lengths of sides of a triangle? 23, 17, and 14. This is true. 11 plus 11 is 22, so that's true. 5 plus 7 is 12, that's true. 6 plus 10 is 16, so that's false. So your answer is D. Your answer is D. Remember the triangle inequality theorem, the two shorter sides have to be longer than the third side. The two rectangles are similar. Which is a correct proportion for the sides? So we have 4 to 12 is equal to 8 to 24. They did 12 to 8. 12 to 8. 24. Okay, I would say that's wrong. 12 to 4. Okay, you can do that. 12 to 4. And you can do 24 to 8. That's correct. You can do that. You can do 12 to 4. That's good. But here they mixed them up. They said 8 to 24. 4 to 12. No, they mixed these two up. So the answer is B. Are the polygons similar? If they are, write a similarity statement and give the scale factor. Well, first of all, you got to make sure that you're writing it correctly. What do I mean? Well, these all start with RST. So R corresponds with U. R corresponds with W here. That's not correct. This is wrong. R corresponds with, in this case, V. That's wrong. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this statement to come up with our ratios. So we have RS is to UV. So RS is 10. UV is 12. And then we're going to do RT. RT. R to T is the same thing as from U to W. So RT is 12. No, RT is 15, I'm sorry. 15 to 18, right? We're going to divide both by 2, so you have 5 over 6. And here you divide by 3, so it's 5 over 6. So they are similar, and the scale factor is 5 over 6. So that's correct. We're trying to check if the polygons are similar. We know that A corresponds with M. and they're saying A corresponds with K, the polygons are similar, but not necessarily drawn to scale. Find the value of x. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the proportions. So we have two pentagons. I'm doing number 70. So x minus 3 is to 2.5 as 8 is to 2. I'm going to go ahead and do the cross products. So you have 2 times x minus 3 equals the product of 8 and 2.5. That's 20. So you have 2x minus 6 equals 20. 2x equals 23, since I add 6 to both sides. Then I divide by 2. (23) divided by 2. 11.5. The polygons are similar but not necessarily drawn to scale. So we have x minus 3 is to 2.5 equals 8 to 2. And we're comparing the two pentagons. So we have 2 times x minus 3 equals 8 times 2.5, which is 20. So you have 2x minus 6 equals 20. You multiply 2 times x and then 2 times 3. So you have 2x equals 26. And then you divide by 2, so x equals 13. So your answer is A. 74. A triangle has the sides of 24, 143, and 145. Is it a right triangle? So we have 24 squared plus 143 squared. And does it equal 145 squared? It does. So it is a right triangle. So the answer is yes. A triangle has a side lengths of 23, 6, and 28. Classified as acute, obtuse, or right. So 23, so we have 23 squared plus 6 squared so you have 23 squared plus 6 squared and 2. That's 565. And then you do 28 squared. 784, and you know that's less, so it's going to be obtuse. If it's less, it's obtuse. If it's equal, it's right. If it's greater, it's acute. In triangle ABC, angle A is a right angle and B is 45. So this is a 45 right triangle. Remember that this is 10, that the hypotenuse is 10 square root of 2. It says leave it in radical form. So you have to leave it as a radical. So what's the length of BC? 10 square root of 2. Find the lengths of the missing sides of the triangle. Write your answer as integers or as decimals rounded to the nearest tenth. So that's 8. That's 8. This is 8 square root of 2. So y is 8. Y is 8. Y is not 11. Y is that. So y is 8 and x is going to be 8 square root of 2. So 8 square root of 2. Enter. 11.3. So that's your answer. Find the value of x and y rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so this is 30, 60, 30, 60, 90. This is 34. So this is 17. This is 17. You remember that across the 30 is the shortest side. So that's going to be 17. And this is a 45, 45 right triangle. So this is 17 square root of 2. This will be 17 square root of 3. So x is equal to 17 square root of 2. Más o menos, or you got to figure out what it's approximately what? Approximately 17 square root of 2, which is 24.0. And y is 17 plus 17 square root of 3. Y is 17 plus 17 square root of 3. So approximately, we got to figure what that is. 17 plus 17 times the square root of 3. 46.4. So your answer is D. Okay, 84. This is 30. This is 60. 90. This is the shorter side. Oh, this right here is a hypotenuse. So it's going to be the shorter side. 16 divided by 2, so it's 8 square root of 3. This is the shorter side, so it's going to be half of the hypotenuse, which is 8 square root of 3. And this one is 8 square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which is going to give you 8 times the square root of 9, which is equal to 8 times 3, which is 24. So x is 24. So your answer is C.